All right, everyone, get ready because we are going deep into AI and copyright today.
Yeah, it's
It's a wild world out there right now.
it really
Like,
is,
things are changing so fast, and it feels like nobody has a good handle on what's going on.
especially with the legal side of things.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's a mess. So we've got a lot to cover today. We've
Yeah.
got this YouTube video, right, from this digital artist who's freaking out about AI, and then a couple of these really in-depth legal reports.
Mhm.
And then something about entrepreneurs using AI, and then another one on the ethics of the whole thing.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different angles to cover.
Yeah, and hopefully by the end of this, we can all have a slightly better understanding of where things stand with AI and copyright.
At least a little bit, right?
Yeah, for creators or anyone using this stuff, really.
Right. And I mean, I think it's interesting. We should start with that YouTube video we were talking about.
Okay.
You know, that artist, their panic is understandable,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Remember that case with the AI art generator, the creativity machine case?
Oh, right. Yeah, the one where, what was it, like a bunch of landscapes or something?
Yeah, a bunch of surreal landscapes, and the court said, like, nope, sorry, no copyright for the robot.
It's go home, robot.
Basically. And that really cemented what the Copyright Office says. You need a human to be involved for copyright to work.
So the AI like a tool, then?
Exactly. A tool,
Okay.
like a paintbrush or an instrument or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That's not the creator itself.
So, okay, so if I'm like writing a symphony, I'm using AI to write a symphony. I
I-
don't automatically own the copyright.
Not automatically, no.
Just because I hit generate, that's not enough.
Not quite.
Okay.
All these legal reports keep talking about this idea of humanizing the content from AI.
Okay.
If you want copyright, there needs to be human creativity involved, a human touch.
So like I can't just, I don't know, give the AI a bunch of data and then say, "Oh, look what I made."
Right.
Like there has to be more to it.
Exactly.
But like what does that look like practically?
Well, there are some good examples in the reports, actually.
Okay.
Like, let's say you're a writer and you're working with AI.
Okay.
So you could use AI to get a first draft, maybe.
Okay.
But then, you edit it heavily. You put in your own style, like your own stories or insights that only you could bring.
Oh, interesting.
It's more of a collaboration with the AI.
It's like having a superpowered writing partner.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of just like a ghostwriter,
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so, and that works for other stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, music is another good example.
Okay.
You can use AI to, like, create a melody or something.
Okay.
But then you still arrange it, maybe write lyrics, stuff that's personal to you.
Like, it's still you being creative.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
even if you're using the AI for parts of it.
Yeah, like Grimes, for example, with that AI voice model thing she's doing.
Right, right.
She's using AI to come up with new vocal sounds.
Right.
But then she uses those in songs that are definitely hers, her own style.
So she's using the AI as a tool, but she's still the artist.
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and even with, like, visual art, it's the same idea.
Okay.
You can use AI for textures or patterns, even whole scenes, but then you integrate those into your own art.
Right.
Adding details by hand, playing with colors, whatever your style is.
So it's not replacing the artist. It's like, I don't know, it's like another tool.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I think that's a key takeaway. Really,
Right.
AI can help you be creative,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't replace the human part.
That's a good point.
And maybe it actually makes the human part even more important.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what makes art unique, right?
Right.
That's what makes it valuable.
Makes it human.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is where the law starts to get a little messy, right?
Yeah, this is where the headache starts.
Because like our laws they weren't built for this. They
Right.
weren't built for AI.
Yeah, the legal reports are pretty clear about that.
Yeah, they said copyright laws, like it's playing catch up.
Yeah, it's way
Like
behind.
there are all these gray areas.
Huge gray areas.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
And some of them, I mean, it seems like they could be really like legally problematic.
Oh, absolutely.
What if you trained an AI on a ton of copyrighted photos, right?
Mm.
And then it spits out something that looks exactly like one of the photos.
Yeah.
Who owns that?
That's a great question.
Is it the person who trained the AI?
Right, or the original photographer?
Yeah, or is it just like lost in the ether?
Nobody knows.
The courts are just starting to deal with these questions.
And that comic book case, the Zarya the Dawn one,
Oh, right. Yeah, with the...
that really shows this problem.
Yeah.
The artist used AI to create some of the art.
Mm-hmm.
And first they got a copyright,
Right.
and then they took it away.
Because of the AI parts?
Yeah, they said those parts couldn't be copyrighted.
That's wild.
And that really freaked out a lot of artists
Yeah, I bet.
because it showed how uncertain everything is.
Yeah.
Now they're all worried about using AI.
Because they might lose their copyright.
Exactly.
It's like, can you even use AI if you're an artist then?
Well, that brings up another tricky thing. Fair use.
Oh, right.
How does fair use work with AI stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Remember that case with the photographer who sued that artist? The artist used AI to make portraits that were, like, obviously based on the photographer's work.
Oh, yeah, the virtual portrait case.
That was a big one.
Yeah, what happened there?
Well, the artist said their AI portraits were transformative.
Okay.
They said they weren't just copies, they were new creations, just inspired by the photographer.
Okay.
But the court disagreed.
They sided with the photographer.
Yeah, they said it was too close to the original.
So it wasn't fair use?
Right.
And that raises even more questions
Oh, yeah.
about how much can an AI borrow before it's like stealing.
It's a huge mess.
It's like we're trying to use old rules for a brand new game. It
Exactly.
doesn't really work.
It's a clash of two worlds.
Yeah.
And it's causing a lot of problems.
But it seems like businesses are like all over AI.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're not as worried about the legal stuff, maybe?
Maybe not as bad, yeah.
Like that report we have, it's full of examples of how businesses are using AI already.
To do all sorts of things.
Yeah, like making things more efficient, selling more stuff,
Absolutely.
even coming up with new products and services.
All of that, yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
What were the things that stood out to you?
Well, a lot of things, really.
Yeah.
But I think that AI customer service stuff is really interesting.
Oh, right. Yeah, with the chatbots and stuff.
Yeah, we all hate those phone menus waiting on hold forever.
Oh, yeah.
But now, with AI chatbots, you can get help 24/7.
And they're getting better, right?
Oh, yeah, way better.
It's not just those basic ones anymore that like barely understand you.
Exactly.
Okay, so these new ones, they're actually helpful.
They can be, yeah.
Okay.
They can understand what you're saying.
Wow.
And they learn from every conversation.
So they're actually like getting smarter over time.
They can anticipate what you need.
It's like having like a little robot assistant
That's a good way to put it.
who knows everything about your business.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And the best part is, you don't have to be a huge company to use them anymore.
Oh.
There
wow.
are affordable platforms for small businesses, too.
So anyone can have a chatbot now.
Basically, yeah,
That's a game changer.
I think so.
But AI can do more than just customer service, right?
Oh, yeah, way more.
Like what else?
Well, the report talked about how AI is being used in all sorts of areas of business, from marketing to product development, even things like logistics.
Wow.
We're talking about systems that can analyze mountains of data, find patterns that would take humans forever to find.
And it's not just about numbers, right?
No, not just numbers.
Like it's about understanding like human behavior
Exactly.
and predicting trends and stuff.
Yeah, like imagine an AI that could read thousands of customer reviews
Okay.
and tell you what people like and don't like about your product.
That would be amazing.
Right. Or an AI that can predict what's going to be popular next season.
It's like having a crystal ball.
Hive, yeah.
That's incredible.
And that's just the beginning.
Okay, so what else can it do?
The report talked about AI being used to personalize marketing,
Oh, wow.
even creating whole new products based on what customers want.
That's mind-blowing.
It is pretty mind-blowing.
It sounds like AI is giving entrepreneurs like superpowers.
In a way, yeah.
But with all this automation, are we all going to be out of a job soon?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little scary, honestly.
I know.
We'll have to talk more about that.
Yeah, we definitely will.
But I think we need a break first.
Sounds good to me.
We'll come back and talk about, all the big implications of AI.
Yeah, for everyone, not just businesses.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It definitely will. Welcome back, everyone, to our AI and copyright deep dive. We've already talked about a lot of interesting stuff, like how AI is, changing what it means to be an author and who owns what.
Yeah, my head is spinning a little bit, to be honest.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
There's so much potential, but also a lot of like potential problems,
Absolutely. It's like AI is this incredible tool that could change everything,
Yeah.
but it also has a dark side,
Yeah, and that brings us back to that question we were talking about before, like, are robots going to take all our jobs?
Right. Is AI going to make humans obsolete?
It's a valid question, right?
Oh, definitely, especially with how fast AI is developing.
Yeah.
We're seeing AI do things that we never thought possible, like writing articles, making music, even driving cars and diagnosing diseases.
So is it just a matter of time before, like, the robots take over?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I think it's important to remember that AI is still a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It can help us do things better, but it's not going to replace us entirely.
So instead of thinking of AI as a job killer, we should think of it as, like, a job changer.
Exactly. It's going to transform the way we work.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better.
And who knows, it might even create new jobs that we haven't even thought of yet.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
I think about it. When cars were invented, it didn't eliminate the need for transportation.
Right.
It just changed the way we got around.
So you're saying AI could do the same thing for work?
Exactly. It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about figuring out how to work with it, how to use it to make our lives better.
Okay, I like that. Embracing the change instead of fearing it.
And that starts with understanding what AI is good at and what humans are good at.
So what's AI good at?
Well, AI is great at processing tons of data, finding patterns, making predictions, things like that.
Okay.
But humans, we're still way better at things like creativity, empathy, critical thinking.
So it's like a team effort then.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance,
Yeah.
using the strengths of both humans and AI to create something even better.
That's a cool way to think about it.
And this is where things get really interesting when we talk about AI and creativity.
Oh, right. We touched on that earlier with the artists and musicians using AI.
Exactly. But what happens when AI gets so good that it can create art that's just as good as human art?
Yeah. What happens then?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Some people think AI art is just a cheap imitation. They say it
Right.
lacks the soul of human art.
Right, right.
But others think AI could unlock whole new forms of art.
Like stuff humans could never even imagine.
Exactly. It's almost like a new artistic movement is starting.
Powered by algorithms and data?
Exactly.
That's wild.
And it raises all sorts of questions about, like, what even is art?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Does it have to be made by a conscious being?
Hmm.
Can a machine really express emotions or ideas?
These are deep questions.
They are, and AI is making us confront them head on.
It's like AI is not just changing how we make art.
Yeah.
It's changing how we think about art.
I think that's a really important point.
It's pretty profound, honestly.
It speaks to the power of AI, how it's not just about technology.
It's about culture, too.
Exactly. It's about society as a whole.
Okay, so we've talked about jobs and art, but like, what about just everyday people? How is AI going to change our lives?
I think it's going to touch almost every aspect of our lives.
Wow.
Think about it. We already use AI for personalized recommendations, navigation, healthcare, even dating apps.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's just the beginning.
So AI is becoming more and more a part of our lives.
Exactly. And I think it's important to be aware of that,
Yeah.
to understand how AI is being used, the good and the bad.
It's not about rejecting AI altogether.
Right.
It's about being informed
Exactly.
and making sure we're using it in a way that aligns with our values.
That's really important.
But honestly, AI can be a bit overwhelming.
It can be, yeah.
It's so complicated. It's changing all the time.
It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, and it's full of jargon that most people don't understand.
True.
So how can people who aren't like tech experts stay informed about all this?
That's a great question.
It feels like it's easy to get lost in all the noise.
It is. And it's important to be careful about where you get your information from.
So like, don't just believe everything you read on social media.
Right. Social media can be good for staying up to date, but there's also a lot of misinformation out there.
Yeah.
It's important to check different sources, be critical of what you read.
Especially if it sounds too good to be true or too scary.
Exactly. Good advice for anything online, really.
Yeah, not just AI stuff.
And I think the best way to learn about AI is to actually use it.
Oh, like hands-on experience.
Yeah, don't be afraid to try different AI tools, see what they can do.
So it's about like learning by doing.
Exactly. And there are so many resources out there to help you get started. Online courses, tutorials, even free AI platforms you can experiment with.
That's cool.
It's not as intimidating as it seems.
Learning about AI can be fun.
It can be. And it can be empowering too.
Okay, I like that.
Because AI is here to stay. It's going to be a part of our lives.
So we might as well learn about it.
Exactly. The more we understand it, the better we can navigate this new world.
Well said. I'm feeling more optimistic about AI now.
I am too, but I still think we need to be cautious.
Yeah, there are still those ethical questions.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of bias in algorithms, the potential for job displacement,
Yeah.
and the need for transparency and accountability in AI systems.
These are big conversations we need to be having as a society.
They are. And they're not easy conversations, but they're important.
Because the choices we make about AI now will have a big impact on the future.
Absolutely. And those conversations need to involve everyone, not just tech people.
Right, everyone has a stake in this.
Exactly. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Okay, so we've talked about the workforce, creative industries, everyday life, but what about the elephant in the room?
What's that?
AI and copyright in the future. Like, what happens when AI can really create original stuff, things that are just as good as anything a human could make? How will copyright laws even work then?
Those are the million-dollar questions, aren't they?
Yeah, and I don't have the answers.
Me neither, but we can speculate a little, right?
Okay, let's do that.
So, as AI gets smarter,
Mm-hmm.
I think the line between human and machine creation is going to get blurrier and blurrier.
It's already happening, right?
It is. We've got AI composing music that sounds like a human wrote it,
Yeah.
writing articles that could have been written by a journalist.
It's like AI is becoming a co-creator, almost.
I like that, a co-creator.
Yeah.
But then that brings up the question of who owns that creation?
Right, who gets the copyright?
Is it the programmer who made the AI, the person who gave it the data, the AI itself.
Our current copyright laws have no idea how to deal with this.
They were built for this.
Back then, it was always a human making stuff.
Exactly.
Now, it's not so clear.
And I think we're going to see a lot of legal battles over this in the future.
The Zari of the Dawn case was just the beginning, though.
Oh, yeah, that was just a taste of what's to come.
So, buckle up, lawyers.
Basically, yeah.
It's going to be a wild ride.
It definitely will.
So, what can we do about this? Like, how do we fix the laws to work with AI?
Well, I think it's going to take a lot of creative thinking.
Okay.
Lawyers, policymakers, tech people, they all need to work together
Yeah.
to come up with new legal frameworks.
That actually makes sense for AI.
Exactly.
So it's not just about protecting human creators anymore. It's about, like, figuring out what rights AI might have as a co-creator.
That's a really interesting concept.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing, actually.
It is.
And something we'll definitely be talking more about in the future.
For sure. There's so much more to explore there.
But for now, let's get back to something a little more practical.
Okay.
Like how AI can actually help creators and entrepreneurs.
Good idea. We've talked about how AI can make content,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also help protect that content.
Oh, right. I remember reading something about AI being used to catch copyright infringement.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So traditionally, finding copyright infringement has been really difficult. It's been manual, slow,
Yeah.
But now with AI, companies can scan huge amounts of content online
Okay.
and find potential infringement way faster and more accurately.
So it's like having like a robot detective
That's a good way to put it.
looking for stolen content.
Yeah, and this is already being used by big media companies, publishers, music labels, all of them.
Wow, so it's like a real game changer for them.
Oh, absolutely.
But what about smaller creators like individuals or small businesses?
Can they use this too?
Yeah, can they afford it?
Luckily, there are more and more affordable AI tools coming out all the time,
Okay.
even for individuals and small businesses.
So they can use AI to protect their work too.
Exactly. It's not just for the big guys anymore.
That's great.
So AI is not just a threat to copyright.
It can actually help protect it.
Exactly. It's a tool that can be used both ways.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I think that's what makes this whole conversation so fascinating.
Okay.
It's not black and white.
It's complicated.
It's very nuanced.
Yeah.
It's not just about protecting creators.
It's about promoting creativity too.
Exactly. Because if creators have these AI tools to help them make stuff, protect their work, and make money from it,
Mm-hmm.
they have more time to focus on being creative.
They don't have to worry about all the other stuff.
Exactly. They can experiment, take risks, push the boundaries.
So AI is like giving power to the creators.
In a way, yeah.
It's making it easier for people to be creative.
And to share their work with the world.
That's a really cool thought.
It is pretty cool.
But like there are still those downsides we have to think about, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like the bias in algorithms and the potential for job losses.
Yeah, and the ethical questions.
Yeah, how do we make sure AI is used for good, not for bad?
That's the big challenge, isn't it?
It is, and it's not an easy one to answer.
No, but I think it starts with open and honest conversations.
Okay.
We need to talk about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
Yeah.
We need to hear from different perspectives.
Everyone needs to be involved.
Exactly. And we need to work together to develop ethical guidelines and regulations for AI.
So that we can use it responsibly.
Exactly.
That's a good point. It's not just up to the tech people.
It's up to all of us.
Yeah, we all have a responsibility here.
We do.
Wow, it feels like we've gone on a real journey today.
We have, haven't we? From the legal stuff to the creative stuff to like the whole future of humanity thing.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I feel like I have a better grasp on AI and copyright now.
Me too. And the crazy thing is we're just getting started.
That's kind of what blows my mind. You know, we're just seeing the beginning of what AI can do.
Exactly. All the stuff we talked about today, it's just a glimpse of what's to come.
It's almost like we're explorers heading into this unknown territory.
I like that analogy.
There's so much potential, but also a lot of dangers.
Definitely. So we need to be prepared,
So how do we do that? How do we make sure we're using AI for good?
Well, I think education is key.
You mean like learning about AI?
Yeah, AI literacy, we need to understand how AI works, what it can and can't do.
So we can make informed decisions about it.
Exactly. And that goes for everyone, not just tech people.
Right, it affects all of us.
Because AI is not some, magical force.
It's a tool.
It's a tool, exactly.
And like any tool, it can be used in different ways.
For good or for bad.
So it's up to us to decide how we use it.
And to make sure we're using it ethically.
That's a good point. It's about taking responsibility for AI.
Absolutely. It's not something we can just leave to the experts.
We all have a role to play.
We do.
So AI literacy is important, not just for the technical stuff, but for the ethical side too, right?
Definitely. We need to be able to ask the tough questions.
Like what data is being used to train these AI systems?
Yeah. And is there bias in the algorithms?
What about the impact on jobs and privacy, even democracy.
All of that, it's a big conversation.
And it needs to involve everyone.
It does. It's not just a tech issue, it's a human issue.
Exactly, and that's what's been so great about this deep dive today.
I agree.
We've been able to talk about AI from all these different angles.
Different perspectives, different concerns, different hopes for the future.
Yeah, and I think that's really important.
It is. We need to have these conversations to share our ideas and concerns.
So we can make sure AI is used in a way that benefits everyone.
That's the goal, right?
It is, and honestly, I'm feeling a lot more hopeful about the future of AI now.
Me too. I think it has the potential to be a real force for good in the world.
But it's up to us to make that happen.
It is. We can't just sit back and let things happen.
We need to be active, engaged, informed.
Exactly. And that's what I hope people take away from this deep dive.
Me too, that AI is something we all need to be thinking about, talking about, learning about.
It's not just for tech people, it's for everyone.
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap things up.
I agree. It's been a great conversation.
It has. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and copyright.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, the future of AI is in our hands. Let's shape it wisely.
You're listening to Digital Mayhem Tech Talk on Spotify.